What happens when ordinary American dude gets bitten by a werewolf and soon really falls in love and all that jazz? You're getting something that's long before Twilight. It's something else. Here it is. This is a guilty pleasure of mine, and I am long overdue to give you a review of this. So prepare yourselves, because I will defend this as best I can. Here's my review of An American Werewolf in Paris. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1997 comedy horror flick, American Werewolf in Paris. Title on screen is just American Werewolf in Paris, released by Hollywood Pictures from Buena Vista, well, Disney of course, and by other companies, internationally. The film was directed by Anthony Waller, with screenplay by Tim Burns, Tom Stern, and Waller himself, starring Tom Everett Scott along with Julie Delpy. It was conceived as a sequel to 1981's An American Werewolf in London from John Landis, which was done by Universal. As a production, all narrative references to the first film have been removed. The film is an international co-production between companies from the US, France, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. The film came out on Christmas Day, 1997, just 2 months after it premiered in the UK on Halloween, and then made its premiere on March 6th the following year in France. The film did okay, kind of slightly underperformed, but did all well factually okay, but got dissed big time. Well, let's get started. Andy McDermott is a tourist seeing the sights of Paris with his best friends Brad and Chris. When Seraphine Pigott leaps off the Eiffel Tower just before Andy is about to bungee jump, he executes a mid-air rescue. She vanishes into the night, leaving Andy intrigued. After soon tracking her down and meeting her, Andy talks Seraphine into going on a date with him. Andy and his friends are introduced also to Seraphine's friend Claude, who invites them to his underground nightclub, Club de la Lune. That night at the club, Seraphine is not present, so Chris volunteers to go back to her house. He frees her from a cell in the basement and is locked in it. He escapes after finding a legless werewolf confined to a bed. The club's owner, who is Claude himself, is actually the leader of a werewolf society that uses the club as a way to lure in people to be killed. Seraphine arrives, tells Andy to run away, and transforms into a werewolf. The club owners transform into werewolves as well and butcher all the guests, including Brad. The next day, Andy wakes up at Seraphine's house and she tells him that he's transforming into a werewolf. This revelation is interrupted by the ghost of her mother, Alex Price. Andy jumps out the window in panic and runs away. Chris tries to get his attention, but Claude kidnaps him. Brad's ghost appears to Andy and explains his werewolf condition. Yes, just like what we saw in American Werewolf in London. But it doesn't become completely all rotted up and what have you, unlike what we saw in that film. But anyway, that's different. Anyway, for Andy to become normal again, he must eat the heart of a werewolf that of the actual werewolf that bit him. And for Brad's ghost to be at rest, the werewolf that killed him must be killed. So he has to find the werewolf that bit him, then kill it, then eat out its heart. After developing an appetite for raw meat, Andy hooks up with an American tourist, Amy Finch, at a cemetery. Well, meets him at a little bit of a little restaurant first, but then they get together at the cemetery. He transforms and kills her, and a cop who tailed him, suspecting Andy was involved in the Club de la Lune massacre. Andy is arrested, but he escapes. He begins to see Amy's ghost, who tries to find ways to get him killed. Claude and his henchmen capture Andy and pressure him to join their society. but Andy must kill Chris to prove his loyalty. Seraphine again saves him, and they return to her home to find her basement ransacked and her stepfather, Theory Pigott, the confined werewolf, dead. Seraphine explains that her stepfather prepared a drug to control werewolf transformations, but it had the opposite effect, forced transformation. As a result of testing on Seraphine, she killed Alex and savaged Theory. Claude stole the drugs during the ransacking. Seraphine also mentions that Claude previously stole her blood in order to become a werewolf in the first place. Now for the ending as part of the final act as well. So you got 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below as I start counting down now. If you've seen this movie already, which I hope some of y'all have, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Andy and Seraphine learn of a 4th of July party Claude has planned and infiltrated. They try to help the people escape but flee after seeing that police have entered. Claude and his men inject themselves with the drug and slaughter almost all the guests. Andy and Seraphine flee after killing a werewolf and setting Brad's spirit free. Seraphine takes the drug to fight another werewolf when they become separated. Andy encounters them and, not knowing who is who, accidentally shoots her, leaving her to be found by the police. A werewolf then attacks him, chasing him down to an underground train track. The train stops due to it hitting the werewolf. It gets on the train where it attacks the driver and several passengers. The drug wears off, revealing Claude as the werewolf. Claude tries to inject himself with the last vial, but is interrupted by Andy, and in the ensuing fight, Andy finds that Claude is the culprit behind his infection. The two struggle to obtain the last vial of the drug, and Andy is accidentally injected. After transforming, Andy kills Claude and eats his heart, thus ending his own curse, and as Seraphine is revived, an ambulance transports her to the hospital. Seraphine and Andy celebrate their wedding atop the Statue of Liberty with Andy's pal Chris, who survived. They bungee jump off when Chris accidentally drops the wedding ring from the statue. End of story. So, what did I think of An American Werewolf in Paris? Well, this film is a guilty pleasure of mine. It's been a while since I last saw it. I did see it a few years back, but unfortunately, it was in a PAL format, which that was kind of a slight disappointment. And some of the songs at the end credits were mixed up and what have you. I don't know how in the common blooming world that even happened. I was very displeased with that. Now, I hope for the best I could actually get an actual physical media DVD of this. I think it's still intact, but I could be wrong though. But anyway, the film did okay, but not that great, making $26 million on its $25 million budget. So it kind of blow it at the box office, but did okay. Anyway, upon its release, USA Today gave this 2 out of 4 stars, citing unfunny gags, a charmless performance by Tom Everett Scott, and a failure to tap into the Parisian setting. Though they praised Anthony Waller's direction. Now, I do agree, Anthony Waller did an exceptionally good job with his direction. Russell Smith of the Austin Chronicle called the film a fast-paced, entertaining homage that recaptures a fair amount of the old lunatic energy and subversive humor of the original, but criticized that the characters often seem clueless in the face of obvious danger, but praised the fun and the special effects of transformation as repulsively convincing. Yeah, I will agree. That's kind of a little bit of an issue. Some of the transformations are pretty cool in my way, but the way the werewolves look, don't quite look that as great though. But they're okay, but they aren't that great though, unfortunately. James Berardinelli of Real Views derided the film's sitcom level comedy, unintentionally humorous scares, and gratuitous nudity, but said the emotionally compelling performance by Julie Delpy and occasional strong directorial strokes prevented it from succeeding as campy, so bad it's good entertainment. Yeah, I will say it is in a way that it is a so bad film. it's good in my opinion. Unlike the original, which has Oscar-winning special makeup effects by Rick Baker, this film relies heavily on CGI for its transformation effects. Some of it was decent, but some of it wasn't. The chase sequences I think was pretty decent. Well, chase sequences were okay. They had to rely on CGI as well, which was a common point of derision from most critics. And that's understandable. The John Landis, the director of An American Werewolf in London, said, I was really disappointed when I saw that film. I thought it was lousy. It's also got nominated for the Stinkers Bad Movie Award for Worst Sequel, but lost to Speed 2 Cruise Control. A real major disappointment, but I've never really watched the film in its entirety. I've only seen a tad bit of it, but I don't know. Rotten Tomatoes has this at a mere 6%, saying marked markedly inferior to its cult classic predecessor in every way. The film is felled by the silver bullets of clumsy storytelling and chintzy special effects. Metacritic has a score of 31, and Audiences Poll by Cinema score give it a B minus. Well, again, it's understandable. Sure, it has its flaws and what have you, but I like it for certain reasons, though. Like its score done by PR. No, not that's the actor. I'm sorry. It's Wilbert Hirsch who does this. I think the score was pretty good and what have you. It did pretty well and what have you. With it being released through Hollywood Pictures, a subsidiary of Buena Vista before Disney even took full control, this was actually one of their last films and what have you. Their Hollywood Records label actually released the soundtrack just a few months before the film even came. Well, just about a month before it got released overseas. It featured music from artists such as Better Than Ezra, Cake, Fastball, and Bush, who actually this features a special Stingray mix of their song Mouth from their second album, Razorblade Suitcase. The soundtrack did okay, but it only lasted for a month, only reaching number 80 on the Billboard Top Album Sales chart. However, of course, the Bush song of Mouth did okay, making it big on the mainstream rock chart and modern rock tracks. It could have been I think it was the special mix, and it's pretty cool. I think I like it just about as much as the original album version. But anyway, now let's see. For the cast, we have well, I said Thomas, but it's Tom Everett Scott playing Andy McDermott. I will say he's pretty good and what have you. Now we have Julie Delpy as Seraphine. I thought she was absolutely incredible. I loved her and what have you. I mean, sure. I mean, like I said, this does have flaws and what have you, especially with its humor. It could be hit or miss, but it kind of landed with me in some ways. Um, Vince Vieluf played Brad. He was pretty good. Um, let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then we got we got see Phil Buckman playing Chris. Of course, he later went on to be in bands like Fuel and Filter years later. Julie Bowen, who after doing Happy Gilmore the previous year, the year prior, played Amy Finch. I was surprised to see her in this one. Yes. Pierre Cosso played Claude. Very good. And I gotta say, the list goes on. So apparently the cast is pretty decent, but maybe not the best and what have you. But from my point of view, you don't have to take my word for it. You be the judge. An American Werewolf in Paris, sure, it's not as good as an American Werewolf in London, but still, despite its flaws and well, its CGI use was all right, but I still found it entertaining though. I'd say I'd give this maybe a verdict between avoid it or give it a one-time watch if you're curious. But if you're not curious about it, then I'd say avoid it. And that's going to do it. So, what did you think of An American Werewolf in Paris? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Please stand by. All right, now if you heard in my review of Together yesterday, I recently made a quick announcement that there will be a slight change of plans for tomorrow. Now, though I was going to rank my favorite horror films of last year, that's kind of on hold until I can find a new date for it. So instead, in its place, I've decided to bump it up from its anniversary date, which was actually next Saturday, to tomorrow on Friday, which I will give you my review of The Adventures of the American Rabbit. But don't worry, I'm still going to do favorite horror films of 2025 due to the fact that next weekend Black Phone 2 will be hitting Peacock, okay? So I owe y'all a great apology for this, but rest assured you're still going to get the horror ranking, the horror of 2025 ranking. I promise. So anyway, if you like this, consider checking out some of these other wolf type films. You can check out my review of the good classic American Werewolf in London in the upper left hand corner. Excuse me, the upper right hand corner is my review of the classic, The Wolf Man. Or if you would like maybe, I think if you would like maybe another type of a film with scary stuff, you can check out the main reviews I did featuring the recent remake of Wolfman from last year in 2025 in the bottom left hand corner, which also included two other films, which were Drop and The Woman in the Yard. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.